What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the LTQ Wrestling Podcast. I am BDJ. Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully 2026 is filled with many blessings and joy for you guys. 2025 for me personally was an up and down year, as every year usually is for everyone. There's no such thing as a 100% great year. Hopefully you guys had a good Christmas as well. Sorry I haven't been uploading as much. I've been a little bit under the weather with that flu going around, the stomach virus. I've had that. It's been brutal. If you guys have had it, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's different versions of it and everything else. So I probably sound a little bit like under the weather. So I apologize for that. That's why I haven't really been uploading as much to the channel. So we're going to be talking about The Miz. And I'm watching SmackDown last week, and he's in this comedic segment with Joe Hendry, R-Truth, Otis, and Tozawa. And it's one of them WWE segments where I get it. They want to have a Christmas segment, want to have a little bit of fun. But to me, it just felt like one of those segments where it did no favors for anybody involved. Like, I know they think it's doing Joe Hendry a favor, but it's not, because you're making Joe Hendry already out to be just a comedic act. And I feel like there's more to him than just that. And I know some fans, don't really like Joe Hendry and they think he's cringe and all that. And I feel like WWE's probably going to make him get annoying after a while with the Joe Hendry stuff. And hopefully I'm wrong. I even said in my TikTok, I don't really see him being a main event star in WWE. He's more of an upper mid-card talent, if that. So we'll see what that ends up being. But The Miz is in this, and he just gets beat up by all four of these guys. And I'm just thinking, man, this is a former WWE champion. And I'm all for, a lot of talent kind of stepping back and letting some of the new talent get in the main event scene. And Miz ain't going to be a main eventer ever again. It's clear. But, you look at this guy's resume. 2-time Money in the Bank winner, 2-time WWE champion, 8-time Intercontinental champion, one of the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time, by the way, 2-time U.S. champ, the first ever WWE Grand Slam champion, 2-time Grand Slam champion under the current format, main event at WrestleMania against John Cena. I probably sound like The Miz himself because that's all they have him do is come out and cut the same promo. But it's like everything this guy's accomplished, and they don't even make it seem like it's a big deal when you beat The Miz anymore, and it shouldn't be like that. Like, he should be like a valuable asset to the company more than what he's been. I don't know if Triple H just doesn't like The Miz like that. That's one thing about Triple H's booking. You know who he likes and who he doesn't. You can say that for every booker. You can say that about Vince when he was booking it. You can say that about Joe or Tony Khan and all that. But, I just feel like Vince did a better job making The Miz mean more. He gave him more segments. He gave him more promo time. He got wins occasionally. Under the Triple H regime, Miz has been nothing but irrelevant. And, his time has passed, obviously, but he's at an age where WWE still pushes guys to some degree. And I don't get why Miz is not at least having segments with talent that can get elevated. I know they're trying to do that with Joe Hendry, but Miz has not won a match in so long. So it's like, yeah, you're getting a win over a former WWE champion, but they don't treat him as such. And they almost had the feud with him and Carmelo Hayes, where they were tag team for a while. Then he turned on Carmelo and he attacked him. Then Carmelo attacked him, and that was the end of it. They didn't really carry on too much with it. And I feel like at that time, Carmelo definitely needed to have a feud like that. If you have The Miz get a win over Carmelo, get that heat, and then you have Carmelo get a win back, they have a third match, and Carmelo wins the feud, that's how you help get someone over. When you have Miz continuously just be beat by everybody, it just gets to a point where fans just stop caring. And they've done that with so many wrestlers where it's just just loss after loss after loss. And it's just okay, I don't care about this wrestler anymore. I don't care about this man or woman wrestling. They take too many losses. There's never any hope for them. And obviously Miz has had a storybook career, but it's make him more relevant. He's a guy who's always durable. He's never really hurt. He's always available. He's a safe worker. I know there's criticism out there for The Miz's in-ring style that he's too safe and too plain or whatever words you want to use. But Miz is a guy who never really hurts anybody. He doesn't really have an awful match. He's had matches where he showed out a little bit. I know he was doing a little bit of springboards and a tornado DDT. Miz is not a bad worker like fans make him seem. And they just need to capitalize a little bit on his resume, because just having him come out there and say the same promo every single week about how he's done this and done that, when you have him lose 24/7, none of that means anything. That was a decade ago, some of that stuff, more than a decade ago, 15 years ago plus. So it's you can't just keep living off of nostalgia for The Miz and think that's going to be enough to get wrestlers over by beating him, because, okay, Joe Hendry beat The Miz. Has it done any favors for Joe Hendry? Are fans any more invested in Joe Hendry than they were when he debuted a few weeks ago? It just feels like just kind of a waste of a feud because they haven't made Miz a valuable person to be at this point. And that irritates me because I like the Miz and I feel like he could still go at his age. He's what, early 40s? That's nothing in today's wrestling. And it's just like he's kind of in that Bailey spot now where they don't know what to do with him. They don't really have any plans for him. They just kind of have him be in random matches, feuds that go nowhere. I mean, look at Bailey. They had her do that split personality thing. They just dropped it for no random reason, and fans were getting invested in that. It's like WWE, and obviously you try stuff in wrestling. Some stuff works. Sometimes, sometimes it don't. You try stuff. It's just like with anything else. If you want to try a story and whatever, it doesn't work out, or a feud. But Bailey's story was working. They just scrapped that. Like, Miz has no story now. When's the last time, besides the Carmelo Hayes thing, they didn't even, like I said, follow through with that story? They don't even put him in anything worth investing in. So it's like fans of The Miz have to be a little bit irritated because he's not doing anything valuable for a guy who's had so much experience, wrestlers who are coming up from NXT can learn from. And I know the argument is, well, Joe Hendry's coming up from NXT. He's fighting Miz. But Joe Hendry, I mean, is he really going to be gaining anything from this? Like, the match itself didn't even really do much for either guy. Like, if you have somebody like Trick Williams come up and feud with The Miz and maybe do like a promo. I mean, Joe Hendry hasn't even really done much of a promo or much of anything with The Miz. It's just kind of like, okay, I attacked this guy. Now what? Like, it's just weird how WWE has booked this whole feud. And like, Miz's most valuable asset is him on the mic. Put anybody in there. If you want to do a test, say, okay, you're going to go in a promo with The Miz tonight. He's going to put you over. You're going to do the classic heel baby face where they have him on Miz TV and Miz interviews him and he kind of gets a little snarky with them. And then they have a back and forth and they eventually set up a match and a feud for a little bit. Like, that's how you do it. They don't even like try to do anything like that anymore. Have somebody like Javon Evans, and they had a little bit of a, match in a segment, but they didn't really do like a feud or anything. Miz, he has been putting over young talent, but he needs to be in feuds and get at least a win here and there to really get the most out of him facing him, because he's lost to Javon Evans, he lost to Joe Hendry. And when, like I said, you have him continuously take losses constantly, it's not doing much for those young talent. It's okay for young talent to take a loss to a veteran, and then they get that win back, and they have a third and final match, and you let the young guy get the win, or the younger talent get the win over the Miz, and then you carry on. Like, that's how it used to be. And now it's just like, okay, we're going to have one match. They're going to beat the Miz and move on. Like, okay, well, what are we doing here? Like, get the fans accustomed. Miz is the perfect guy to have a 3-match feud with on the main roster when you first start out, because safe worker, great promo, can learn from, former WWE champion, the whole 9 yards. Let a Javon Evans have a 3-match feud with them. Let a Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, maybe they end up doing that with them. I don't know. WWE's booking is confusing sometimes, but just have them gain something from the feud, because just beating a veteran guy who is a loser basically in WWE's minds, I mean, it's just like, okay. It's like having AEW, when they have, someone like Wheeler Yuta, for example. I'm not comparing him to The Miz, but he's a guy who's just kind of doing nothing. You have somebody new debut and beat him, it's already forgotten because they ain't doing that with them. So that's really my gripe with The Miz's booking, is just they ain't really trying hard enough with him to really make him at least somewhat of a viable threat for new talent, and that sucks. We'll have to see what The Miz's booking is going forward. I don't expect any of it to change, and it's really a shame because he still has so much to offer to the business, more than what WWE Creative has had him do. And look, Miz is a guy who will do anything they ask. And sometimes that's a bad thing because they will put you in the most ridiculous stuff. And look, Miz tries to make the best out of everything he's given, and he has for the most part. But some stuff is just so bad you can't really make it good. And that Christmas segment was not good. And hopefully they move on from that. And look, I don't know what Joe Hendry's future is going to be on the main roster. Maybe he's going to be another R-Truth, and those guys stick around for a very long time in WWE. I mean, that's why Otis and Tozawa are still on the roster. I mean, a lot of other wrestlers have gotten released, and they keep Tozawa because he's a guy you can just throw out there and he can take losses and do whatever. But Tozawa doesn't really have the resume Miz has. Like, if they were booking Tozawa like they booked Miz, then I would understand it because Tozawa, outside 205 Live has not had any success. He's a comedic act. You can get some wins over him, maybe have them feud with Otis and Tozawa and get a few wins and move on. But Miz is a WWE Hall of Famer, a former WWE champion, like I've said, and it's just like he's kind of being treated like he's nothing. He's never done much in WWE. He's kind of in the Dolph Ziggler role now, where they don't really know what to do with him. They don't really know what his role should necessarily be. And that's a shame because Miz and Dolph are two of the best when it comes to like mid-card talent, especially their match against each other when it came for like the Intercontinental Championship and everything. Those matches were awesome. And Miz can still go in the ring. He had that good match against Gunther. He's had some good matches against younger talent, but it's just like, what is Miz's role going to be? And I don't know. For whatever reason, WWE just has Miz doing what he's doing. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the Miz's booking. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do I have reasons to be complaining? Feel free to give your thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more LTQ wrestling content. We will be trying to get a podcast episode up this weekend. I don't know if both Tiers and QJ are going to be available. I'm hoping to get at least one in here to do some podcast episode because it's been a minute since we have. So be on the lookout for that. Check us out on Spotify at LTQ Wrestling Podcast. Make sure to check out me and QJ's gaming channels, BDJGaming and QJBGaming in the description below. Peace.